That movie reminds me of real life. That's real to real. Leave a comment below.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Welcome to another episode of Real to Real, where I go over different movies and TV shows that I've seen, and I give you a spoiler-free review, and I just tell you different parts or different points and thoughts to keep in mind when you're watching these movies and shows, so that you can get maybe a deeper understanding of what it is that you're looking at and how it could potentially help you in your life. And on today's episode, I want to go over a really nice movie that I saw on Netflix that I think we should all watch, and we could watch with our children, just so that we can really help them to process life and death a little more. Because in this movie, the main thing that it's talking about is death, and it's just helping this little boy to process life and the loss of life, and to process his traumas that he's going through with his relationship with his father and his relationship with his mother and even his grandmother. And one of the things that I really got out of this was that main part is processing death. But another part that I really got out of this movie that I really liked, that I was like, you know, everybody's got to watch this, is everyone isn't given the opportunity to watch someone that they love die. Everyone doesn't have the chance to say their final goodbyes, to say I love you before the person passes away, or hold that person in their hand before that person dies. You know, sometimes you argue with somebody and then they go to work and they get into a car crash on the way to work and they die in the car crash instantly. Then you get a phone call later on that night telling you that, you know, the person has passed away, in which case you have to live with the fact that the last interaction you had with them was you arguing with them. It was a negative interaction. So I thought that this movie was very powerful on just understanding loss and understanding that time is very fleeting. And yes, it hurts. It really does hurt, especially when you're watching someone you love who's sick and dying, and you're just like, you know, you're feeling powerless. You're feeling like there's nothing that you can do, in which case there really is nothing that you can do. It's a natural part of life for us to die. You know what I mean? That's not the meaning of life, is not to die, but it is a natural aspect of our existence. The main thing that I got from this movie that I think most people should get from it is that not only is death natural and it's a part of life, and it's something that we should all learn to accept and cope with, but we should keep in mind that dying is a part of life, so that when we interact with our family, with our friends, we're more patient, more understanding, more loving with them, because we know that this could be the last time that we see that person. This could be the last time that we get to tell them I love you, that we get to tell them that what you said hurt my feelings. That's more reason why I have always tried to be as emotional honest with people as I can. I don't care how silly it makes me look, or, you know, gay it makes me look. I'm from the 90s, so yes, we used to call those things gay. And I did the quotes because I know how people get, oh, that's not gay, and homosexuality and blah blah blah. Come on, cut it out. All I'm saying is it shouldn't be frowned on to show emotion. Even as a man, men are very emotional, very emotional. We just pretend like we're not, but we're very emotional. And that's because growing up, at least when I was growing up, and I watched people grow their little boys, they tell them don't cry, man up, they hit them because they show, you know, weakness. But it's okay. It's okay to be a human, to be a person, to have emotions, to feel sad, to feel rejected, to feel lonely, to feel lost. That's a part of our life. That's a part of being a person, being alive. So I just wanted to keep that in mind when we watch this movie, that it's okay to be emotional, and death is a part of everyday living, and it's something that we should all accept and enjoy and just understand. And I say enjoy because that person is no longer having to deal with the sadness and the suffering of being alive, because it's hard to be alive, and death is just a much easier thing, as the fact that we don't know what's next, but we do know that our spirits transcend to the next plane of existence. Because again, this is not everything that it is to life. We are spiritual creatures in a physical body, experiencing the physical world through a spiritual lens. So, I just wanted to share that. And let's go ahead and check out this trailer.
Okay, are you ready? There we go. What color is that? Maybe if we take a pencil and then we make a face, and then we see the life in the eyes. Life is always in the eyes. There's our monster. How does the story begin?
With a boy, too old to be a kid.
You're coming to live with me. Don't touch anything.
Too young to be a man.
I no longer see you.
What did he do?
He called from monster. Whoa, indeed. I know everything about you. The truth that you hide. The truth you dream.
I'm sorry you have to face this, but you have to be brave. Do you understand?
What shall I destroy next?
Break the windows!
Break them yourself.
It's okay that you're angry. I'm angry too. And if you need to break things, by God, you break them. I wish I had 100 years. 100 years I could give to you. I'm afraid.
Of course you are afraid, but you will make it through. For this is why you called me. Come on.
So yeah, again, this movie is about loss. It does have an aspect of bullying in it, and as most know, I am totally against bullying, but I do understand that there are people who are going through things in their own life, going through emotional and mental traumas that they don't know how to handle it correctly. They don't know how to express that. So what they do is they lash out in violence against those who are weaker than them because it makes them feel more powerful. It gives them a sense of power, you know what I mean? So I can get that, in which case that's something that we all have to work on as a society, how to help those people deal with those traumas so that they don't take it out on others. But at the end of the day, this movie was really, really good. And as I said, it touched on death. It touched on being honest with ourselves, being honest and being brave enough to express your emotions, being brave enough to say, yeah, I'm scared, yeah, I'm sad, and I don't want to go through this, but I understand that I have to go through this. I have to deal with this thing, and I will deal with it the best way that I know how. The only part in the movie that I didn't really like was, and you heard it in the trailer, she was like, yeah, when you're angry and you want to break stuff, break stuff. I don't think that's a healthy way to express your anger, but again, I can understand, you're angry, you want to let it out. Some people need that, they need that physicalness to let out their anger, in which case get a punching bag, punch up your punching bag, but don't necessarily break stuff, you know what I mean? But get you a punching bag, punch up your punching bag, maybe go for a jog, go for a run, do some push-ups, get to exercising extremely rigorously until you're tired and you pass out and go to sleep. Grab you a pillow, scream in your pillow. One of the things that I learned in therapy when I was younger, somebody makes you upset, call someone else and just tell them, hey, listen, I really need to vent. Is it okay if I pretend that you're the person that I'm angry at so I can say the things that I need to say? Don't take it personal. And you let it all out, and then you go back and talk to that person who made you angry, because now you're not as likely to say hurtful things to them because you've already said the hurtful things that was on your mind. So that's something that might help. Or maybe write a letter. Another thing I learned in therapy, you can write a letter to the person who made you angry. Write a couple of letters saying everything that you want to say, crumble it up, throw it in the garbage, and then go talk to the person. Because sometimes we just need to get out that anger, get out that hurt. And again, that's okay. And this movie was just really powerful in that aspect. It really was like, I thought that was just a beautiful thing, how this movie was written and directed, and the way that it just showed the emotional effect and the mental effect of, you know, death and loss and being bullied and missing your dad and just wanting to be held and hold and loved. And I love that it was a little boy. It was a little boy because, again, boys are raised with this idea that we're not allowed to be emotional. We're not allowed to express how we feel. We're not allowed to cry and say, hey, you know, I'm hurt that this girl didn't like me, or I'm hurt that you said this thing to me. We're not allowed to hug our homeboys or tell our homeboys, hey, man, I love you, bro. You've been good to me. You supported me. You know what I mean? You make me feel like I'm seen, that people see me, that I'm alive, that I'm a person, that I'm wanted in the world, you know. And I just think that that's wrong that we do that to our little boys. I personally, I let my sons cry. I really don't have no problem with them crying. Only thing I might say to them is, yo, my man, you crying a little bit too loud. I'm trying to watch some TV over here. You know what I mean? But I let my kids cry, yo. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with expressing tears. Even as a grown man, if you got to cry, bro, let that out, man. Don't be ashamed of showing your emotions. Telling your woman that you love her and you appreciate her, or telling your kids that you love them and you appreciate them, you know, telling your friends that you love them and appreciate them. There's nothing wrong with expressing your emotions. So this movie was just really good. I think everybody should check it out. It's on Netflix. I really enjoyed it. And with that being said, I just want to thank everybody for watching another episode of Real to Real. And let's all remember, man, we all out here trying to do the same thing. Just be happy and survive. Y'all stay blessed.